You're listening to the Platte River Bard.
Hello, and welcome to the Platte River Bard. This is Chris Berger.
And I'm Sherry Berger.
And today we are here with some folks from Mills Masquers, and we have the director of one of their upcoming shows, Kari Drake, along with a whole bunch of the cast, and it's the cast of Blithe Spirit. Welcome, one and all.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We've never had this many guests before on the podcast. It's so much fun.
How exciting.
I love it. So I think we should probably do a little bit of a round robin.
Sure.
Do you want to start us?
Well, let's go ahead and just start with the director, Miss Kari Drake, the director.
Hello.
Welcome. How did you decide to pick Blithe Spirit? And give us a little background real quick.
Our season was decided by our board down there at the Barton-Rowe Theater in Glenwood, Iowa. Typically, we do a musical this time of the year. And, cast of thousands, whole 9 yards, right? But with the COVID the way it was back in the beginning of January and not quite sure where things could end up, felt like maybe cast of thousands was a little bit of a reach. And then, and then also audience, you're looking ahead and then you're still wondering, well, what's the audience going to look like in March? Are people going to want to go out?
Yeah.
So with consideration, with just everything where it was, a small cast seemed appropriate. And we decided on Blithe Spirit for a couple of reasons. One, it's a classic.
Yes.
By Noel Coward. And it's one of those that for theater people, it is recognizable. Also, they had just made a movie about it a couple years ago in 2020.
Yeah.
So we thought that maybe some of the younger audience may have seen the movie and then would be interested in what does it look like at the theater? And we, the Mills Masquers, had actually done Blithe Spirit several years ago. And Ken might remember how far back it was. I don't. Do you, Ken, remember how far back we may have done Blithe Spirit?
10 or 15 years, so.
Okay. That sounds about right. Yeah. So it just seemed like a fun thing to revive. And it is. It's a farce. It's a British farce. And so it lets people dust off their British accents if they'd like to. And on the other part of it, from the actor part of it, it is a challenge. This is technically it's a very challenging show. Okay. So it's one of those, for the artists and the actors who decide to participate in it, when they're done, they will have a really great accomplishment to be very proud of. Because it's 90 pages of a lot of script. I believe Don can tell you a little bit more about that because he counted all of his lines. Isn't that true? Isn't that true, Don? You counted?
Yeah, I'm that type of a person.
Yes. So
is Don playing? Don, are you playing Charles?
Yes.
Yes.
Don is playing Charles. Yes, he is.
And so, it's Don Vinkenberg, right? Vinkenberg?
Yeah, Vinkenberg. Yeah. You got it.
Awesome.
How many lines then?
I have 610.
Holy cow!
Oh my gosh!
And a lot of them are very long. The last one is about a 3-minute monologue.
Wow!
Oh, okay.
Does that count as one line though?
Yeah. That's one line, whole line. So, and it has been difficult, because it is a British show, and they speak differently a little bit, and their dialect is a little bit different, so it doesn't click as fast as like an American show would. And with the amount of lines and like not having a scene partner at home to read with, it's been a little bit of a challenge, but it's been really fun to take on. Actually, I'm always here for a big challenge. I love challenges, and this is definitely a big one for me. So I love it.
Yeah, there's got to be a trick for monologues. I mean, we were talking to someone the other day, and they were saying that they had a lot of lines, but they were they'd used some kind of software to have the lines, the other person's lines fed to them so that they could just go through the lines and then say their lines and then back and forth. But for a monologue, gosh, what would you do?
I don't yet.
How would you do that?
You do it however you do it. Everybody has their own way.
True to that.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, speaking of learning lines, Debra is our Elvira in the play, and she's the one that became brought that to our attention. And she's much more familiar than any of us on how that works. And I thought it was a very interesting piece of technology that's out there to be able to learn lines without having another person there.
Oh, neat. So what did you do, Debra? How did you handle that?
Well, I am by no means an expert because the play is a struggle. It's a struggle to learn all those lines. I've been working with Off Book, and then it's a free app. And I play all the parts, but you can put the characters in there. And so then I could put my name in there, that Elvira's parts, and then it will ring a bell before. And you can make it so that it mutes out hers, or you can make it that there's a pause and then it says hers.
Oh.
So I've been using that a lot. I also wrote down every line in 2 little notebooks to try to get all of the lines that way. But yeah, it's been a struggle, but I mean, that helps. It's
Writing
helpful.
helps. Yeah.
So did you count your lines as well?
No, I would have a heart attack. I don't want to know. I don't know.
Oh no!
And
I said, I think that I will. I said, I think I will make it, but I'm going to keep us all guessing until like that night that I'll get it. So, it's been tough.
And on top of that, Elvira, not to give too much of it away, but those familiar with Blithe Spirit, Elvira is playing our ghost. So not only does she, have a British accent and she has all these lines, but then she's being a ghost on top of all of that.
Wow.
So, yeah. Her family's pretty excited to come see her, though.
I bet.
She has a granddaughter that's terribly excited to see Grandma be a ghost.
And she said she has her own ghost outfit to wear, so she wants to wear it there to the. And I'm an elementary school teacher and a teacher librarian.
Oh.
So all of the kids are talking about it, wanting to come and watch. I was doing lines out at recess, and so they were listening to that. All excited about that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then Tasha plays our Ruth, and she is, pretty much with the size of the cast, everybody has some kind of a lead part, but Ruth is the next person with Dawn who really carries a majority of the script. Tasha, again, she came by the way of Florence Players, first time with us at the Mills Masquers, and it's just been a delight getting to know her. She can tell you a little bit more about her experience as well.
Yeah, we saw you in
Yes. Yes, that was absolutely a blast. I loved every minute of that. I texted my mom after I auditioned for that one. She thought I was kidding, but I said, Mom, I want to sing Weird Al and die. And she just lolled at me, and I'm like, no, really? I want to sing Weird Al and die. And I ended up with the part. And this part couldn't be any farther from my days at Hint, though. I have 517 lines. I am personally using script rehearser or line rehearser. I forget which one. But it also, I had to input the lines, and it'll ding or just play straight through. I can play the entire script or just the scene. So I have been trying very hard to learn my lines that way.
Wow.
It has been definitely a challenge. She says words like didactic and supercilious, and I'm like,
She does.
what? Puerile, and I'm like talking around like I got like question marks over my head because I'm like, I know the connotations of this here. Now I'm throwing out the word like connotation. Anyway,
Ruth is
learn a
rubbing
word.
off on you.
Rub it off,
yes.
yes.
Oh, yeah. She's becoming Ruth.
The things you learn in theater.
That's right.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
go.
the things you learn at the theater. Yeah. Actually, Ken is the one who's been helping us with all the really big words that we would get stumped on.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
And Ken said
Ken-
he was the voice of reason too in this play.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, I've been helping with the big words because I'm a retired lawyer and I know a lot of them.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
I play
indeed.
oddly enough, a doctor, and he's the skeptic. He comes in and poo-poos all the stuff that's going on, and takes care of everybody, and fixes their wounds later on, and
Yep.
just essentially, he is the voice of reason. I have probably the fewest lines in the show, but then again, I'm the oldest guy in the cast, and so there you go. I've been doing this stuff. My first play with the Masquers was in 1983,
Oh wow.
Oh, okay.
and I even did one at Chanticleer in 1981. So I've been doing this a while.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And as I say, I took about 5 years off here lately, and I've been in 3 straight shows now.
There you go. I know.
Wow. It's fun, and it's just
You come back and you wonder why you ever left.
yeah.
That was my
Well,
experience.
no, I know why I left. It's just I'm not smart enough to quit.
Oh,
I love it.
there we go.
So, Rita is playing our Madame Acardti.
Uh-huh.
Yes, she is.
The
She's
troublemaker.
And I'm not
well,
sure why. I keep getting mentioned that they think I'm typecast for some reason. I don't know.
Well, we have played Cards with Humanity with Rita and some very strong drink after production.
After Music Man, it was awesome. We had a lot of fun in that
So we
way.
got to know Rita really well right away. And it's been so much fun ever since. I'm so glad that you're getting to do this. And so you are a psychic medium in this play.
You forgot the lead word. I'm the crazy psychic medium.
Oh, sorry.
Crazy psychic medium.
Crazy psychic.
Well, they all think I'm crazy, and they call me old all the way through.
Oh, that's
and
not very
I don't know.
nice.
I don't know.
Well, you know,
I may have to play up the face again.
Maybe.
You know. We'll see.
Well, fun. I'm so excited that you're getting to do this play. Really. It's been a while for you, hasn't it?
It's been the 3 years. I still audition because I love to audition,
Right.
but
Right.
you know, and I've auditioned for several things with Chris, but
Yeah.
this is probably my biggest role ever, and I'm so excited. And I'm glad they're all taking a chance on me. So.
Congratulations. And thank you for helping me get this podcast together. I really appreciate it.
I know. I was excited to do this. I think you guys are doing an awesome job.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you.
We,
and so is Rita. Rita is doing an
Yes.
awesome job.
I bet she is.
She is. She is a delight.
And I have my Ovaltine.
Yes, she's got some really great lines that we've started to use in our everyday language. Hotting up some Ovaltine and yes,
Believe it or not.
yes, Madame Acardti. She is quite the character, and Rita really brings all of that to life.
Oh, wow.
And you know, when you have a cast that has to carry so much of the show, because there's not a lot of scene changes, it all takes place in one living room set. So there's just not a lot of the things sometimes that would go with a 3-act play, right? A lot of flourishes and stuff. So really, they become the storytellers, and listening to them is just so wonderful. All of them, all together. I sit there and I listen to just this conversation that they're having about what's going on in the life of the Condomines, and it's just a great thing to it's like listening to an audiobook, kind of, that you can just really get lost in. If you just sit and you listen to the story, you're like, this is a lot of fun. This is a great story. I wonder what's going to happen next. So
Fun. Well,
yeah.
And Kari, is this your first time directing?
No, not my first. I directed other shows at the Mills Masquers. I've been on the board of directors there for about 23 years now.
Oh, okay.
22, 23. it went by in a blink.
Always does.
Yeah. So it's just the nice thing about community theater, like you said, you can get as little or as much involved as you'd like.
Yes.
And there's so many opportunities to do so many different things. You can do costumes, you can direct, you can take tickets, you can help with concessions, and everything in between. Backstage.
Yes. Always need backstage.
Yeah.
Yes. All of those things. And Nancy Wright is one of our other cast members. She plays the doctor's wife, Mrs. Bradman.
Okay.
And Nancy was in the original production of Blithe Spirit that the Mills Masquers did. And Nancy's been at the theater 40 years, Ken?
Oh,
like,
man.
Since
She's
the
been there
theater
longer
started.
than I have. She was.
Yeah.
We did Arsenic and Old Lace in 1983, and that was like her third or fourth show at the Masquers.
Wow.
Yeah. So she's been performing, and Nancy does everything as well, and she does a great job at all of it. She's directed a lot of our shows at the Mills Masquers, and to have her in the cast is just a lot of depth and a lot of experience, and she loves theater, and you can tell, and she's so good at it. So I guess that's the other thing I would say about community theater. Anybody who wants to get involved, just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't be scared. Just go out, find that thing that you like, even if it's just taking tickets for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Because you really can find people who will mentor you, show you the ropes. You have a wide variety of ages that are usually involved in community theater, and a wide variety of experiences, and everybody can just learn from one another.
Yes.
And it's so fun. The other cast member, Sarah Kittle, plays our maid Edith.
Mm-hmm.
And I've known Sarah since she was probably about 5 or 6 years old.
No.
It's great. She's same age as my daughter, and she's in her, she's that age. But yeah, I've known Sarah a long time. I've known her since she was a little girl, and now she has children of her own, actually. So it's been fun, and Sarah's done shows. I don't know. I think she said she was 12 maybe when she did her first show at the Mills Masquers.
Oh, wow.
And and that would be like 20 years ago.
Right.
So she's doing a delightful job with Edith as well. So it's just a fun place to hang out with people and enjoy theater.
Right.
Well, and as Kari said, there's so much you can do at the theater. For like 10 years, it wasn't an official set if I didn't bleed on it, because I built them all.
Yes.
And you build sets. You can do all sorts of stuff, and we have built in the past some really elaborate sets that were a lot of fun to do.
Yeah.
So
and Don, how old were you when you were out at the Mills Masquers for the first time?
I was 17, and that was my first community theater experience.
Wow.
I started very late, but we're here now.
Oh.
Yeah, and you've participated in lots of different ways besides being on stage, because again, it's like a all hands on deck kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I've done some backstage stuff. I've helped with flights a couple of times. It's been fun.
Yeah.
And he choreographed "We Will Rock You."
I
did. Choreographed on.
Big play.
Yeah, we did that show last year, and I was the choreographer, and I was also in it. And our next upcoming show, I am also scheduled to choreograph that, so I'm super stoked for it.
Nice.
So yeah, that's one of the great things about small community theaters is that you really get a lot of experience, and you can get into a place where you feel comfortable trying new things because you feel like you're in a safe space.
Most definitely.
And I'm just curious, so Mills Masquers has been there for more than 20 years, obviously. So how did it get started?
Yeah.
Do you guys know how it got started?
Yes. Back in the day. Yes, back in the day. There were a couple of gentlemen, Terry Barton and Bill Rowe, and some of their friends, and feel free to correct me along the way here, Ken, but as the folklore goes. Okay. It's almost I think we're almost at 45 years.
Wow.
I think we're closing in on 45 years. So
the poster on the wall shows that no Opry at the Opry House tonight was 1977.
Okay. All right. Yep.
Wow.
So these two gentlemen met along the way in Glenwood. They discovered, they liked theater. They had friends that liked to do theater, so they started putting these shows together, and a melodrama was one of the first ones that they did. And they would perform in all different places around the city of Glenwood. They would perform and at the elementary school because it had a really nice stage. And then there was a stage where they could perform up at the state school in Glenwood. And then there was, I think, a couple of times they performed in the upstairs of this really nice barn where they would haul all the set pieces and all the furniture up a straight ladder into this barn loft. No. Oh, yeah, there's pictures of that. And it was beautiful. It's a beautiful barn. It was gorgeous on that loft. But yeah, they hauled everything up with ropes up into this loft of this barn. And so they did that for quite a while, maybe 10-ish years. And then they decided that they wanted to build a building, and they did. And the very first show that they did once they built the building was Oklahoma.
Oh.
And they got the 4 walls up. And there was a dirt floor. There was no seating except hay bales.
Oh.
There was no heat. It was a great introduction for the christening of their new building.
Wow.
And it is a building that we still perform out of. We do have seats, though, just so you know. Nobody has to come and sit on a hay bale.
No more hay bales.
Although that's kind of perfect for Oklahoma, though.
Yes, it was. It was perfect for Oklahoma.
Completely perfect.
Yeah.
Yes, but we have seats and heat now, so yeah, it's all good.
All the modern inconveniences.
And we've remodeled several different times. After the building was built and had been used for many years, we took everything out of the building and dug a basement. So
nice.
Yeah, there's no limit to the crazy things that we will say, you know what? Let's try this. So really the hard work and ambition of a core group of people back in the day that loved theater and liked the fact that it involved community. Mm-hmm. You can invite community of all ages to do a little bit of everything. Right. And musicals are always fun when you can involve orchestras and people who play instruments, and it's just a whole nother outlet for creative expression.
So nice to see smaller communities come together and do something like this.
There's kids and grandkids of Barton-Rowe that are still a part of it too. Which carried over.
Neat.
Yes, that's right, Rita. Yes, thank you, Rita. Sam Neff is doing our lights and sounds for us, and Sam is the grandson of Bill Rowe.
Oh,
okay. And and Sam's mom, Becky, heavily involved in the theater over all these years. Wow. I think she was in high school when they started it, or got to the point where she got very involved and has been involved for, decades now. All of her family is, actually.
I think it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. And I know people are getting more comfortable going back to theater right now. COVID numbers are going down. So it's good to know that you guys are prepped and ready for it.
Yes.
I will say it's a really good show. One of the reasons I wanted to do this show in particular was because it was written by Noel Coward. And I've done Anything Goes several years ago, and that was such a blast that I knew that this would be good. I've been doing this all my life. My first show, I was in 2nd grade. I played a gardener, I think it was, and we sang a little song and got some applause, went off the stage, and I was hooked. And I do this. It's a relief, relaxation, and just a hell of a lot of fun. Yeah. And Masquers is a family.
Certainly sounds like it.
Yeah.
What about Tasha?
Well, actually, this is my first time out with the Masquers, and I've just been dumbfounded, honestly, by the acceptance and everything. I'm probably one of the most ones fumbling over the lines and generally being scared, and everybody's, is particularly Rita and Kari, have been really big backers for me. Rita's been, hey, let's get together Saturday. We can run some lines, and Kari has called and put my mind at ease. She's like, you know what, you're doing it good. She actually took the time, and I do feel very much that everybody's been with everybody else for a while, and they have this kind of family feel, and I don't feel like I'm barging in at all. I feel very welcome.
Aww.
And
that's so nice. Thank you. I'm glad. Yes.
And I was in Annie at Mills Masquers back in 2014. So I did live in Glenwood. So a lot of the Glenwood friends are still down there. So even though I've gone to other places and other show platforms, those friends keep following me on Facebook, which that is awesome. So, and Tasha, we met auditioning, actually. So
yes, always a bridesmaid and never surprised. Oh wait, now I'm a bride.
Now you're a bride with 517 lines.
I think I have half of that, and I'm proud of you, Tasha.
And I've never seen you sparkle like in this character. You're gonna be so amazing. Everybody's gonna love you. Aww. And Debra too. I'm here. I get to say the lines, but they are absolutely the sparkle. I mean, Rita's just moving around, and Debra just has this voice, this cackle, and it's the most amazing thing I think I've ever heard.
Well, don't count yourself short. You do an awesome job too.
I'm trying.
We are a very small cast, but we have a lot of fun, and we're on and off stage a lot. And yet, we feed off of each other and we help each other, which is good.
Right. Yeah, definitely. It's kind of funny. This is our second podcast that we've done today. And we were talking to the director of another theater, and he was talking about how close the cast was, that he had never seen a cast be this close so quickly. And a lot of them didn't know each other. And I feel like that's the same thing that's happening with you all. I mean, you did kind of know each other before you did this, but just think of how close that you're getting. And I'm wondering if it's more the pandemic that, now we're kind of like we're kind of able to kind of breathe and take a breath and loosen things up a little bit, and people are just so excited to get back into theater and to feel this camaraderie again.
Get back and connect again.
So it's just kind of funny. This is like the theme of the day. It's in the stars for you guys.
Well, have to get together and have friends and share, and if we can help somebody else to feel better, that's the whole point.
Right. There's definitely
And theater. I think one of the things in the pandemic was that you can't take theater for granted. In the fact that something, especially in Omaha, where there's so much of it all the time, it all came to a screeching halt. And Dawn experienced that firsthand because back in March of 2020, we were in the middle of Mamma Mia. We were doing Mamma Mia, and Don had one of the lead parts in that. And he can speak to how disappointing it was that they only got to do one weekend. And then the weekend. Yeah,
it was very, very heartbreaking, because in that show in particular, I've been doing shows at Mills Masquers for about like 5 or 6 years now, and that show in particular was the most like everybody was putting more than 100% in, and it was just so big. And our first like 3 performances, we sold out every night, and like we were so revved to do like the next weekend and have a great closing, and then all of a sudden it was just gone. And we tried to revive the show about a month and a half later, and then it just wasn't possible, and we finally just put it to sleep, and it was it was hard for everybody.
It is,
Yeah, Rita mentioned about us possibly doing the melodrama at the Florentine, and that was actually axed when we were still rehearsing. Here it is, like almost 3 years later, and the director has emailed us, and I said, I don't know, I'm kind of busy at the moment. Get back to me.
Good answer.
But it's the truth. I mean, everybody was just heartbroken. We made a little video and everything. Yeah.
Sure.
So coming back to having this again has been just a marker that maybe in some form life can return to normal. Maybe. Let's not say that too loud though.
Right. I love to see rural theater, and I love to see people doing creative things outside of just where they are. They're just doing it where they are. They're not driving into the city necessarily to see it all the time. They're out there doing it. And I think it's so exciting that you guys have this wonderful little theater to go to, and so many exciting cast members.
Yeah, Debra, how many? I know you've been in other shows at the Mills Masquers. What would you say your favorite thing is about being in the shows?
I love it because it's such a family, and I think that all of the shows that I've ever seen there, and I've seen a lot, are always top notch. We haven't said very much about Kari, and one thing that she does is she is a costume phenomena. I mean, she is. You don't really know who you are, even when you read the lines. But when she puts you in that costume, then that's complete. And you know what you are doing. I mean, she really has a good eye for that and really brings that. And she has done that for countless shows. So, yeah, she's pretty amazing. She didn't tell you. She hasn't told you that. But yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, she did make me into Bill Sykes, so there you go.
Yes, and Debra got to wear the cutest little polyester 3-piece suit that we found up in the costume room one day.
Yeah.
Is this set in the 40s when it was written, or?
It is.
I can't remember.
Well, the 30s.
Or the 30s,
yeah, it was.
rather.
Yeah, it was written in 1941. Is actually 1941 was the first time it was shown on a stage.
Okay.
In London.
Okay.
Was in London in 1941, and it did run on Broadway as well in the States. Okay. What's interesting, I guess, about the timing of it, when you look at the script, the original play opened in July of 1941 in London, which would have been not even 5 months before the beginning of World War II. So that was 6 months before Pearl Harbor. Ken was telling me, he was like, well, Europe was already in the war. Yeah. That was already going on. And so that makes you go, so all that's going on, and Noel Coward writes this farce, this comedy that includes, having a dead wife, right. and you kind of wonder, like, how is that supposed to play?
Yeah.
Who's gonna go see this?
Complete distraction. Yeah,
that's exactly right. That For theater offers you that distraction. We all get up and we live our everyday lives, and we know that there's not happy things going on in the world at any given time. But art can give you that escape. It gives you that moment to just kind of regroup. Again, you're listening to this story, and it really is this Blithe Spirit is really just a story about people, and people reacting to their lives and what they're doing with it, and it's a drama, but it's a comedy, and I think we all need both of those things in our lives as a balance. So
definitely,
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, how exciting! I'm so glad you guys are doing this, and I'm excited to see it. I'm really happy to meet all of you, and I can just feel your excitement for this particular production and your parts. And I just know Rita especially. I know this is a new role for you. When you said one of your biggest roles, so I know this is a very exciting show for all of you.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. We have a lot. Tasha and I have been doing a lot of extras on the side. I know the others have been meeting on the side as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun when it all falls together.
Well, and I know, Rita, you're bringing us a cheering section, aren't you? she's recruited a lot of our audience so far.
Okay. I have a large family. All my people from work wanted to come. I've got all my theater friends that I have on Facebook, and I just keep sharing. And I have awesome theater friends like the two that are doing this podcast. So you got to share the fun when you're doing it. So that's what I'm doing.
Absolutely. I know you guys are all going to be great.
We had a little change in our opening night.
Oh.
Our opening night will actually be Saturday, March the 12th.
So we run
okay.
Yeah, we're going to open on Saturday, March the 12th.
Oh, yeah, very good. So the show will run. The show opens March 12th and runs through the 20th. That'll Fridays and Saturdays at 7:30 and Sundays at 2.
But thank you guys so much for taking the time and talking with us. We wish you all the best. Break all the legs.
Yes, break all the legs.
I know all of your hard work is going to pay off.
Thank you to everyone. Thank you for having us. And again, I'd just like to say thank you to the cast. They've worked really hard. They've done a fabulous job. It's just been a pleasure. And we look forward to seeing you guys all at the theater.
Wonderful.
Thanks.
And thanks for sharing. Platte River Bard is awesome.
Well, thank you one and all to the director and the cast of Blithe Spirit by Noel Coward. And that will be going on at Mills Masquers in Glenwood, Iowa.
Thank you.
Thank you.
guys. Nice.
Yay.
Now we can say whatever we want.
Thank you for listening and supporting the arts in the Platte River area and beyond. Please subscribe to our podcast so you are sure to catch all of our future episodes and join us on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Music for this podcast was used with permission by Screaming Skull Productions. See you next time on the Platte River Bard.